What's up, everybody? I'm doing a tutorial on pad replacement for the 3K. I've never seen one on the internet, so this is probably a first. I've seen them on the 2000 XL and 2500 and all that, but it's not that hard on the 3000. It's pretty simple. I mean, you'd have to be an idiot to open the case up and not figure it out. I mean, it's just unplugging a couple of cables and undoing a couple screws, but some people like the visual, so I'll give it to them, I guess. I've already taken it apart, but I'm just gonna kind of step by step it backwards a little bit so you get the idea. I've actually taken mine out and cleaned the pads. They're rubber, so just run them under warm water and use a scrubber. It's pretty simple, front and back. Let it dry. Obviously let it dry before you put it back. And then I just took a terry cloth or a microfiber towel and wiped down the pads, the sensor pads, because these are the most important things. Obviously there's dust, dirt, anything on these sensors. It really affects the pad when you press it down. Obviously the more dirt in the way, the harder you have to press the pads. So a pretty easy solution to the way your pads work would be obviously a free fix would just be clean them out. You know what I mean? Just as soon as you get an old MPC from somebody, just take it apart, man. Clean the damn thing. It's gonna help you out in the long run. At least you'll process of elimination to see what's wrong, you know, if your pads aren't working. But it's pretty simple. This pad sensor just flips over upside down like that and lays down. Obviously you put the pads on first, but then you lay this down, and then these copper back lines right here is what screws down to the machine. No, actually the holes that are right here, these screw down to the machine to hold the sensor and the pads in place. And then these copper things are for this, which is just attached to the sensor. It's the sensor strip, basically the brain of the sensor strip. And then that screws down, and then this whole plate screws down to the machine. Excuse me. And you've got these cords that I take the liberty of, I named them just in case you get them screwed up, mixed up. You don't want to, you know where they go. I've named them, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, just in order, just so you know. They go right back in there. You plug them in. 1, 2. I mean, it's pretty simple. After everything's back, and then you just work backwards. I mean, all the screws are visible. All the cords that plug in and out are visible. It's nothing. There's nothing really you can screw up. I mean, I think a lot of people get nervous when they start taking these things apart. They don't want to mess nothing up because they're afraid they can't put it back together, or when they put it back together it's not going to work right, or whatever. But you know, it's pretty easy. Like I said, as soon as you open the top up, I mean, these machines aren't that complicated. The parts are complicated as far as you know what I mean, as far as the chips and the boards and stuff. That's what does all the work. The parts they're interchangeable. It's pretty simple. So, I mean, like I said, you've got to be pretty fucking airheaded not to figure it out. It's a little bit more work than replacing the pads on some of the other ones, but it's not impossible. So just open it up, save all your screws, don't lose them, you know, and it's pretty simple. So get at me, man.